Hey, what is going on, family? Welcome to the Empowered Academy podcast with your host, Dr. Jenard D. Man, I am so excited to be back making content, to be back podcasting. Just being away from the game for almost 3 years has been crazy, man. The last episode that I uploaded was in January of 2021, and that was up under the podcast name More Love Connection. As you all can see, I'm branching out into a solo podcast, and I would love for your support. A lot has happened since 2021. We've had a baby who is now 2 years old, get ready to be 3 this year. I officially finished my PhD, and I'm Dr. Jenard D. as you may know if you follow me on Instagram or any social media platform. I'm currently working in my dream job or my passion area, working as a Black Male Initiative Director at my alma mater, North Carolina A&T State University at Defy. But man, I have missed you all. I'm so happy that you are here and that you have tuned in to support the Empowered Academy podcast. This is a passion project of mine, something that is near and dear to my heart. I wanted to be intentional about when I came back. I wanted to bring content that I was passionate about. I was passionate about marriage, millennial marriage, and relationship advice. But now I feel like the time is to hone in and lean into my individual passions and take this thing forth. So you now have the Empowered Academy podcast. If you have not done so, what I want you to do is stop, go to your favorite podcasting platform, and make sure you subscribe, follow us. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. We're actually on over 80 different podcasting platforms, but make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be notified every time we release every time I release a new episode. Something I'm gonna have to get used to is saying we. I was so used to saying we for me and Destiny's podcast and More Love Connection podcast. But again, make sure you go and follow on your favorite podcasting platform. Also, follow me over on YouTube at Dr. Jenard D. That is my YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you can be notified every time I release a video episode over on YouTube. If you have not done so, if you do not do this already, follow me on social media. You can follow me on Instagram at Dr. Jenard I would love for you to follow me on my professional page, which is on LinkedIn. You can search Jenard D. PhD. But LinkedIn is where I'm very active professionally, putting updates, engaging with students, engaging with partners and my corporate partners that I have, engaging with fellow colleagues from across the globe. But that is where the professional Dr. Jenard D. content goes, as well as my other platforms. But LinkedIn is, that top tier professional. If you want to become a Empower Academy supporter, look down in the show notes. If you're looking at this on YouTube, you'll see it down in the show notes. If you're listening on your favorite podcasting platform, it will be in the show notes as well. But I would love for you to become a Empower Academy supporter. Go over to the Patreon page, become a supporter. By becoming a supporter, it allows me to continue to bring you high quality content. You will get behind the scene access to some of the things that we are doing that we may not put on a podcast. You'll get behind the scenes access. I'll be going live in Patreon. You get to see and tour the studio, the Moore's Unlimited studio. I will be doing some power hour stuff, and I may start streaming that outside of the Patreon because I want more individuals to be engaged with the power hour top conversations that we're going to be having. So we probably will stream that outside of Patreon, but I would love for you to become an Empower Academy podcast supporter. So check this Patreon in the show notes. Here are 5 things that you can expect from the podcast. Now, again, as I stated, I wanted to be intentional about bringing you new content, wanted to be intentional about the things that we talk about here on the Empowered Academy podcast. So here are 5 things that you can be guaranteed to receive every time you tune in to one of our episodes. That is going to be empowering conversations. You're always going to get an empowering conversations by listening to any of our episodes. You're going to receive inspiration and motivation. You're also going to leave each episode with actionable items that you can take and actually apply to your life in real time. Another thing that you can expect to receive is for us and our community to celebrate your victories. We can only do that by you sharing. So go over on LinkedIn, on Instagram, put up under any of my posts your dreams, your visions, your goals, or a goal that you may have for 2024. And when you achieve that goal, come back, let me know, because we want to celebrate your victories. And finally, you can expect transparency and authenticity from this podcast. Everything that I have gone through, I want to share with you in hopes of you achieving and overcoming things a lot sooner than what I did. I'm an expert at my own experiences. I don't look back over the past and say, I wish I should have, I could have. All I do is say, you know what? I know better. Now, if that situation arises again, I will do better. But by sharing my story, by being authentic, by being transparent, I want to be able to help you overcome obstacles a little bit sooner. So make sure you like, subscribe, because these are some of the things that you will be getting every time you listen to an Empowered Academy podcast. So today, let's just go ahead and jump right into the content for today. Today, we're going to be talking about being you and doing it on purpose. In 2024, it is time for you to show up as the best version of yourself. And so the title of this episode, as you can see on whatever platform you're on, is Be You and Do It on Purpose. I'm going to give you some tips. So wherever you're listening at, whatever you're listening on, make sure you take some notes because these are applicable to your life that you can actually start applying today. So first one, you got to know who you are. If I asked you right now, if you're looking at this on YouTube, you can see me pointing and looking directly into the screen, and I'm talking directly to you. Who are you? What do you do? Can you tell me in 2 to 3 minutes who you are? This year, I want you to be intentional about figuring out who you are. And if you already have a good grasp on your identity, your personality, the things that you like your strengths, kudos to you. Let's start building and showing the world a little bit more of your personality, a little bit more of your identity, but do it in an authentic way. So number one, who are you? The things that I want you to do is find out what you like. What are you great at? Don't allow others to define your personality. This year, we ain't got time for you to be worried about what other people think about you. And I will share this with you. For many, many, many years of my life, I used to always be worried about what people would think, how they would perceive me. And now I'm just like, you know what? It don't matter what other people think. Every morning when I wake up and I look in the mirror, I am satisfied with myself. I don't need the accolades. I don't need the kudos from other people to be happy with who I am. And also, I don't need them to tell me who I am. I'm happy within my own skin. I don't allow other people to define who I am. I don't allow them to define my personality. I suffered from that for so many years. And by the grace of God, I've overcome trying to be a people pleaser. In corporate America, I used to always try to be a people pleaser. Wanted to do things to make my supervisors or my boss like me a little bit more. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You do want to shine, but you can shine in an authentic way to where you are operating at the best version of yourself, and you're not doing it in a fake, false humility type of way. So don't allow other people to define who you are. I want to take a step back. What are you good at? What are you great at? This is the question that I want you to ask yourself as you are identifying who you are. Step 2, and this leads right into this one. Identify your strengths. This year, we're going to identify our strengths. What are the things that you are naturally good at? For me, many, 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 many years, I have been told that you're a natural born leader. You're a great communicator. You're a great orator. You are good at helping people achieve their goals. Now, I've leaned into each one of those areas, and we just talked about not allowing people to define your personality. But there is a place for people to help strengthen and for them to help identify strengths in your life. So how do you do this? Begin to ask someone that you trust if you don't know what your strengths are already. Begin to ask someone, hey, could you tell me what you think I'm strong at, or what do you think I'm good at? If you don't know your strengths, I would encourage you to ask someone or go to Google and type in free strength finders tests. It is imperative that in 2024, you identify your strengths, work on those strengths but making them stronger this year. And it is imperative that you operate in your strengths. So ask people that you trust, take the strength finders test. And I want to ask you this. When do you feel most in your element? When do you feel the most strength? Or when do you feel like you're operating in an area that you're strong in? I'll wait. Think about it for a second. When do you feel most in your element? Is it when you're helping individuals? Is it when you are studying? Is it when you are up late putting in work for your side hustle? Is it when you are operating in a position that you've always wanted? When do you feel most in your element? For me, it is when I'm mentoring my guys. That is when I feel the most me possible. And any of my mentees that have ever sat down or come to my office, that have ever called me, will always tell you the same thing. He's going to keep it real. He's going to tell us like it is. He ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. He's going to tell us the experiences that he's had to help me get over a hurdle. So I feel the most in my element when I'm sharing my experiences, when I'm helping motivate the next generation, when I'm showing individuals how to tie a tie. That's when I feel the most in my element. So basically, when I'm mentoring guys is when I feel the most authentic. Now, moving on. So you already have know who you are, identify your strengths. And number 3, I'm going to preface this by saying I used to struggle with this one. This one right here, I used to struggle with. And I can't even lie. It's something that I've had to talk with several individuals about. My family, my mom, my wife. But it is, don't compare your success to others. I was one that defined my success based off of what other individuals' success was. I always used to look at individuals, especially around my age group or my friend group, and would say, man, this person is doing this. They're either a little bit younger than me. They are either right at a little bit older than me, but they are doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm not doing it at the level that they're doing. And I used to call my mom or call my wife and say, man, this person is doing this. They have this, they have that. So I used to always compare my success to what others have. But one of the things that I started to do was I started to celebrate where I was in life. I started to define my own success. What does success mean to me? I started not looking at the big picture and looking at the finish line, but I started looking at the start and saying, you know what? I've taken this step towards the finish line. Let me celebrate that. I've moved towards this goal. Let me celebrate that. So I started celebrating the small victories, and I started seeing myself as successful where I was. A lot of times we don't enjoy the journey because we're so focused on the finish line. This year in 2024, what I want you to do is don't compare your success to others. Their journey may have started a little bit earlier than your journey, but I want you to celebrate where you are. Enjoy your journey. Enjoy the ride. Each step of the way, you may have some challenges, yeah, but enjoy your journey. Begin to define your own success. What does success look like to you? What does success mean to you? So in terms of not comparing your success to others, identify what success means to you. So you already have, know who you are, identify your strengths. Don't compare your success to others. Number 4, learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Simple. Don't harp on your mistakes. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get in a state of self-pity. Learn from your mistakes. Learn, grow, and move on. Yes, you're going to make mistakes on your journeys. I cannot count on two hands, two feet. I can't count the number of mistakes that I have made in my life. But the thing that I can count on is not allowing the mistakes to define who I am. One of the things that I do so well, and I have learned to do over years and years and years and years of making mistakes, is growing from them. Okay, yeah, I made this mistake. Yeah, I went this way, but how do I get back on track towards my goals? So don't allow your mistakes to define who you are. Learn from your mistakes. Here we go. Number 5. This is something that I want you to do in 2024. And this is going to help you be the best version of yourself. Is challenge yourself to be uncomfortable. Challenge yourself to be uncomfortable. Get outside of your comfort zone. A lot of times we try to operate within a safe space to where we know what the situation is going to be. We know that we will, quote unquote, be protected. And, if we give a presentation, we're not going to get the criticism that is going to hurt our feelings. But put yourself in a situation to where you're uncomfortable. Because what that is going to do is it's going to challenge you to rise to the occasion of self. It's going to challenge you to push past the fear, to push past the emotions, to push past the jitters, and get out of your comfort zone and do something that you normally would not do. For many, many years, I used to struggle with public speaking. And to this day, I get nervous before I get before a big crowd and I speak. But for many years, I used to get before crowds and I would speak and I would hear my voice cracking, and I could feel myself shaking. And although I was a good orator and a good communicator, it still didn't negate the fact that I was uncomfortable with speaking in public. I love to do it. I can do it, but the nerves, the jitters. And a quote that my mom used to always say was, feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And so I challenge you this year to feel the fear and do it. Whatever outside of your comfort zone means, I challenge you to do that. Now, when I get up to speak, I have a process. I do some self-talk, some self-motivation. All right, nerves, calm down. All right, Jenard, you got this. I look in the mirror. You are who you are. You got this. You got this. Calm down. I do some breathing techniques to try to get my breath under control or my breathing under control. I always start my speeches or my presentations with an icebreaker because I know if I just jump straight into the content, I may still have those nerves and be a little jittery. So let me do a little icebreaker to kind of calm my nerves down. So I still deal with that to this day, but I'm also constantly pushing myself outside of my comfort zone to be in positions that will challenge me to rise to a new level. So again, we have know who you are, identify your strengths. Don't compare yourself to others. Learn from your mistakes, challenge yourself to be uncomfortable in 2024. And number 6, you got to find your tribe. Find people who will push you to the next level. Get around individuals that are going to challenge you. Get around individuals that you feel comfortable with speaking life into you. And what I mean by that is they can say, hey, you messed up right here, but this is how you could have done this a little bit better. Get around people that can have the tough conversations with you and you don't feel offended when they tell you you could have did this a little bit differently. Get around people who are going to celebrate your victories. Get around people who are a little bit smarter than you. You don't always want to be the smartest person in the room. So find individuals that are going to push you to the next level, that are going to challenge you to become the best version of yourself, and that are going to be able to speak life into you. And we're going to close with this one. And this is my favorite one. 2024, be authentic. Be authentic. Be authentically you. Show up in every area of your life as the best version of yourself. Be authentic to yourself. And I'm going to add this to being authentic. Be accountable to yourself. You have to be accountable and authentic to yourself. So in 2024, I want you to be you and do it on purpose by knowing who you are, identifying your strengths, not comparing yourself to others, learning from your mistakes, challenging yourself to get outside of your comfort zone, finding your tribe, being authentic and accountable to yourself. These are ways that you can show up as the best version of yourself in 2024. And these are ways that you can be you and do it on purpose. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Head over to Instagram. If you liked anything that I said today, shoot me a quote on your Instagram stories, tag me, and we will reshare it to my Instagram story. I hope that this has been an empowering conversation for you, and I want you to show up as the best version of yourself. Leave me a comment down below. Leave me a 5-star review. Let me know what you got out of this podcast. This is the type of content that you can expect from the Empowered Academy podcast. I'm excited that you are here. I'm excited that you are watching. I hope that you support via Patreon. Follow me over on Instagram. But we're going to leave you with this. Be great and do it on purpose. Hey, what's going on, family? I hope this video empowered you and motivated you. If you've enjoyed the content, be sure to like and subscribe so you can be notified every time I release a new episode. Also, don't forget to check out these other videos I have right here. I'll see you on the next one.